one of the co-founders of Pre-PT Grind, which is a pre-physical therapy platform that is meant to help you as a pre-PT get into physical therapy school without wasting time or money. Wow, that's a mouthful. For those of you that are new to our group, welcome, 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 welcome to our Pre-PT family, our Pre-PT community. Looking forward to serving you. Casey Coleman and I, every single Thursday, we come in here live together to share with you a little bit about whether it's certain experiences we want to share with you, whether it's a word of encouragement, whether it's clarity, direction, answering questions. We like to have a good time. Brooke, how you doing? Kilvante, how you doing? Jim, good to see you. Man, how you doing? I'm about to bring Casey on here, but if you are new, first of all, reach out to us if you need absolutely anything. You can message us at contact@preptgrind.com. You can message Casey or myself individually, but we are here to serve you at the highest level. Tonight, Casey and I have a topic that might seem a little odd. It's a little bit about how every single one of you is a non-traditional student, but we're going to be sharing with you a few key things that you guys need to understand in order to know how to leverage yourself as a pre-PT. If that's okay, say that's okay below in the comments, and we'll start sharing with you what we have to share with y'all as I try to get Casey on here. Kyle Rice, how you doing, brother? Let's see if I can get Casey on. Let's see if this works out well. Can y'all hear me? Casey, can you hear me right now?
There we go.
Can you hear me?
What's up? I can
What's
hear
up,
you.
brother? How you feeling?
I'm good. Tomorrow's Friday, so I'm all right. I'm making it. How about you?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. Yo, side note, I'm gonna have to bring him on a little later. He's knocking out, but my wife just surprised me. So we've been when we were on our honeymoon, and then we'll dive into our topic. When we were on our honeymoon, we ended up selecting a puppy that we wanted to adopt and bring home. So I've been sharing him, pictures of him with our acceptance system students, a few of my close friends. But like on my drive home from work, my wife texts me and she's like, "Hey, I got a surprise for you." So usually what that means is it might be like my favorite treat. It might be, I don't know, maybe like some kind of dessert. So I was excited. I was like, "Yo, I don't know what it is, but let's go." It's been a long day, and I was excited to see her as well. Lo and behold, I open the door to my house, and there are two of them. It's her and the puppy. She brought him home. So very soon, within the next few days, I'm going to be introducing y'all to my little man Kovu. He's our first child. We don't have a human baby yet, but Kovu is our new puppy. He is 8 weeks old today. So he just got his shots today, and so he got to come home. So we're super excited. So after this live stream, I'm going to go see if he's knocked out yet. He was about to fall asleep, so I'll see if he's asleep. If he is, we can't play until tomorrow again. But y'all, got a new member to introduce to y'all, a new pre-PT winner named Kovu. He is a Shiba Inu. If y'all know what they look like little foxes, but they are beautiful creatures. Rashawn, how you doing? Isaac, Carol, Noble, Melanie, Taylor, great to have you all here. Let's get it. Casey, tonight, straight to the point. Tonight's topic is pretty much everybody is a non-traditional student. And so kind of break that down for us, and why is that important for us to understand, and how can we as pre-PTs, whether I'm applying right now, whether I'm applying next year, the year after that, how can we leverage that, and what are some actionable steps that we can take as pre-PTs? Take it away.
Yeah, man. So, man, everyone's a non-traditional student. Basically, everyone asks the question, how do I stand out? How do I become unique? How am I different from the pack? How do I catch their attention? How do I make them laugh? How do I catch their emotions to make them remember me? It's all really the same questions. And sometimes I've heard in the past, okay, well, I'm not anything really different. I'm a pre-PT. I'm in the pre-PT club. I'm a pre-PT tech. I've seen some patients come in, but I'm nothing special. I'm not like this non-traditional student over here who's who has kids or comes from a business background or plays an instrument or something like that. I'm not like this student over there that has this experience on a mission trip and has something to talk about. I just want to go into PT because it's a nice career and I want to pursue it and I see people enjoying themselves, but I'm not that special. I'm just your plain old pre-PT. What can I do? How can I stand out when all these other people supposedly have all these other things on me or have a one up against me? Well, first of all, I was your lame as non-traditional or lame as traditional, non-traditional pre-PT. Joseph was too. And we are physical therapists right now. We weren't
Yep.
anything crazy. We weren't anything way out of the ordinary. We weren't anything super special. Our resumes weren't packed with information, but we're still physical therapists. And sometimes, especially now, when the comparison comes and you're watching everything on the pre-DPT students group, watching everything on Instagram, soon people will be getting accepted. And you're like, oh my gosh, what do I do? Do I even have a chance? I am just the normal, everyday pre-PT and nobody's going to notice me. However, I want you to think of this. Stories, right? Movies, even people, right? Most of them have the same outline. What's up, Kyle? Most of them have the same storyline. Most stories, most books, most movies have the same general structure, right? However, Avengers Endgame, $1 billion movie, $1 million movie. Avatar, I think, is in second place now, $1 million movie. Even sports, if we want to go to sports, they have the same kind of storyline. However, that storyline is generic. That storyline is traditional. That storyline is everyday average. But those movies, those sports, those books are still capturing people's attention. People are still buying books left and right off the New York Times bestseller list. People are still going to the movie theater. People are still packing out stadiums. People are still packing out, basketball arenas. Why? Because those different aspects of entertainment make their story non-traditional. They make their story non-generic, even though it has the same storyline. Meaning, okay, there's a hero or a shiro in a movie. They come from, a not so good of a place. They rise up, they meet somebody to help them get to the top. You see them fighting to get to the top. They're struggling, they hit a few obstacles, but they ascend, they reach their peak. Then at their peak, they hit the biggest obstacle of them all. They fight, they tough it out, but they almost lose or lose totally. Then they figure out what happened. They finally beat the beast or whatever it is, and they rise again to ascension. Story's over. That's really basically all it is. Movies, entertainment, books, sports, all the same thing. Now you're thinking to yourself, okay, I'm the average pre-PT. I went to undergrad. I'm a pre-PT tech. I met a few patients. I did my observation hours. Maybe I did a little volunteering. I had a few struggles along the way, but it wasn't anything crazy. Your story might just be like that traditional storyline. However, if you want to be that $1 million, $1 billion New York Best Times bestseller, box office, whatever it is, you need to make your story, your traditional story, non-traditional or non-generic, meaning you need to make it like those movies. And what are those movies like? Dramatic, funny, emotional, romantic, anything that makes your hair stand up on the back of your head, scary, interesting, mysterious. You need to make your story. You need to make your presentation of your storyline, of your movie, like that. Now, an example could be, okay, I see this a lot on essays sometimes. I'm a pre-PT student, and I shouldn't even start there. One day, I was in my observation hours, and someone came into the clinic, and we bonded and we connected. They told me about their story, and they inspired me to be a physical therapist because they said I was a great student. Then they go on to tell their story. They go on to write about it, and it's cute. It's all right, but it's traditional, and it's just like that average storyline. However, just like the movies, we need to give them something different in that generic story. So, example, could be something like, that could have been me. I'm blessed to have two legs. Why do I just have one? I mean, why do I just have two and they have one? I have been so blessed to not have been injured. I have been so blessed to not have been born with cerebral palsy. It needs to be like that. Whatever your favorite movie is, whatever your favorite book is, go read it. Go watch it. And really think about, why is it your favorite movie? Why is it your favorite story? And model that around you, around your story, around your pre-PT journey. Because yes, if your story is generic, that's fine. Mine was, Joseph's was, but we did it in a way to make it seem or come across as non-traditional. Because none of us really are. We're really not. Joseph's story is completely different than mine. Completely different.
It's true.
Compared to my story, Joseph's story is freaking dramatic. It's a $1 billion movie. It really, no, I'm serious. It really is. From childhood to coming to the States, all that. I was born and raised in Chicago. I went to high school. I went to Andrews. I didn't get in my first time, but I'm a PT now, and I moved back to Chicago. Like, compared to that, what Joseph has gone through, my story can seem traditional. It can seem generic. But you guys, a lot of you have heard my story before, and I've told it in a non-generic way.
Ooh,
so if you're thinking like,
sure.
man, I'm just the average Joe, am I ever going to get off of this? How am I even going to make myself stand out? Go watch your favorite movie. Go read your favorite book. And think about, how can I make my story dramatic? How can I make my story different? How can I make myself stand out? So, a few things, a few little tangible things before I let Joseph go on this topic. Okay, that's nice. I'm gonna go watch my movie. I'm gonna go read my story. But what really makes someone unique? Like, what does that really include? What can I really pull out from that? And what really makes people unique are a few key things. One is experiences. Whether dramatic or not, whether mundane or not, experiences. Go ahead and write it down. Number 2, perceptions. If you're really catching what I'm saying, I'm really talking about the essay topic. But I'll let the smart people understand. Perceptions. How are you perceiving your experiences? Everybody perceives experiences different. We just had a webinar. I'm sure myself and Joseph have perceived that webinar differently. Beliefs. Your experience and perceptions. Now what do you believe about the world? About your life, about other people's perceptions. Creativity. Next, relationships. How have your relationships throughout your life influenced you? Then lastly, a little sprinkle on the top, your hobbies, all that little stuff that you like to do. So again, if you're still struggling, man, what does unique even do? Your experiences. What have you been through? Mundane or not? Mundane or dramatic? I don't care. Perceptions. How are you perceiving the world? How are you perceiving your experiences you went through? Beliefs. What do you believe in? Creativity. Relationships. Then all the other stuff. Your little hobbies and everything like that. So if you think you're traditional, you're really not. If you think you're generic, you're really not. So go watch your favorite movie. Go read your favorite book. whatever you need to do, put these into practice, and know that you're different.
Yep.
Because
Yep.
how to make yourself stand out, it really needs to be new. It really needs to be you. Sorry, it does, because your question is in the answer. How do you stand out? You do it. So Joseph, take us home with this. What are your thoughts on traditional students maybe thinking like they're not enough? Traditional students thinking like they can't stand out, like they don't have a chance against everyone else who is so much different from them.
Well, I think you said everything to begin with, man. And Adam, good to see you, brother. We have Melanie on here. David, Catherine, anytime. Paul out here making Lion King references. I love it. Kyle,
Yes, thank you,
uh,
Paul. Yep.
Kara, yo, Kara, I hear you. So I don't really have much to add to it, but I think it's funny because on both sides of the coin, whether you have seen yourself as a non-traditional, like a real non-traditional, which means you've either been out of school for a few years or you've gone down a different career path and then have decided to come in PT. Um, I hear a lot of non-traditional students saying, "Dang, it sucks that I'm not like the traditional students. It sucks that I'm not coming straight out of college, with my undergrad classes being finished now and then transitioning straight into PT school. Am I going to be behind everybody because I haven't, been at the academic level that everyone else is at?" We hear it on the other side from the traditional students. I don't have anything that allows me to stand out. And it's a lot of what you were talking about, Casey. Like, I don't have anything unique about my story. The honest truth is, y'all are feeling the same way, regardless of where you're at. But what Casey is saying is so accurate. For the essay, first of all, he just gave y'all like some great tips on the essay if y'all really are like still like not absorbing that. But the biggest thing is understanding that you are your own unique applicant. Everything you've ever heard us say, uh, pertaining to your ability to get into PT school is predicated on the fact that you're not seeing yourself as, oh, well, Carrie just said it. I'd rather not be average. Yeah, you're not seeing yourself as average. It's predicated on the fact that Kara is Kara and nobody else is her. It's predicated on the fact, what's up, Jimmy? It's predicated on the fact that Jimmy's experiences can't really be matched to anybody else. I think a lot of times what we try to do is we try to ask ourselves, what have other people done to stand out? And so we say, that person did A, B, C, D to stand out. I've kind of been through something like that. Let me just pick something that is similar to their, like, is it, yes, like, is it nice to have some example? Yeah, but the honest truth is, you have your own unique journey. Like Casey said, his story is very different from mine. And we could both tell you our stories and y'all could be bored to death and be like, oh, so average. We could also tell you both of our stories and y'all would be like, holy freaking crap. Like, I'd pay millions of dollars. I mean, I'd pay some good money. My $20 that I pay for the high end movie theaters, like, I'd pay that on a Tuesday to go watch that movie. You know what I mean? And so for you, it's saying, like, what is it? Like, are you being, are you able to really self-reflect and understand the characteristics about you that are you without looking at anybody else? I think like it's very similar to kind of what we do with pre-PT grind. I think what makes this so much fun for Casey and I, one, we love pre-PTs, but we really don't know what anybody out there is doing. We don't really care. As in, like if there's someone else on the pre-PT platform, that's great. We love it, but we're doing us. We're serving the way we want to serve. Anything we create is based off of what we feel called to create, not because we've seen someone else do it. And that's what's made us unique. That's why y'all are here watching us live. Like, that's really it. So play your journey the same way. As you're thinking about your essay, it's the same thing. As you're going through this application cycle, I know it's stressful. I know you're freaking out, but understand that no one can replace you. If you can remember that, if you can, and yes, there are other pieces, but for tonight, like if you can remember that, like let that be your little extra chip on your shoulder. Let that guide you through this whole process. Let that give you the confidence to play the game your own way. Let that give you the clarity to be able to, when you do get your interview, go in, show out, Just every piece of this process, understanding that you're here for a reason, understanding that the piece you got as a pre-PT, when you decided to become a physical therapist was yours. Can't nobody touch that. Nobody. I can't touch it. I can help you. Casey can help you, but we can't touch it. It's yours. You are your own unique applicant. You are a non-traditional student. Start believing it. Start literally, like, if you're like, man, okay, I hear you guys, but I don't know, like, pull out a piece of paper tonight and just start like writing down the unique aspects of your story. Actually, just write out like your story, like in general. Whether you want to do your life story, whether you want to do your story through your pre-PT window, whatever you call that, and then start saying, how can I look at this a little differently? What can add, like, how can I view my challenges a little differently? How can I view my rejection? Remember, Casey was talking about, like, in a movie, like, y'all realize, like, the most boring movies are the ones that have no dip and rise. Like y'all ever see movies like those, like really super basic movies? Their budget was like $0. It's like those Christmas movies that have like no plot. It's just them. There's a Christmas tree. The tree gets lost to the way to like basic stuff. Like, don't do that. Don't discredit yourself. Like, don't discredit your journey. Don't discredit your temporary defeats. Some people call that failure. We call that temporary defeats. Don't discredit your frustrations. Don't discredit your pain. Don't, like, use it all. Great people, the greats, actors, athletes, motivation speakers, inspirational leaders, the greatest people in human history have used everything to their advantage. The greatest people in human history have used pain to their advantage, have used frustration to their advantage, have used blessings to their advantage. So understand that. Casey laid it out, y'all. But if you can start to understand that you can't be like, you can't really, like, nobody can touch you. Paul, your story is so unique, man. We already know it. Like, nobody can touch you. The problem comes when you start to forget that. The problem starts when you start to think of yourself as just another pre-PT. That's the point where you start panicking. If I thought of myself, and if Case thought of himself as just another pre-PT coach, then yeah, like, we'd probably panic every time someone created a Facebook group for pre-PTs, but we don't really, like, we want there to be more groups. Because we know that there's so many pre-PTs out there that the two of us are going to do our best to reach them, but we know, like, there's way too many out there to serve. So, but because we're so confident in ourselves, like, it makes it so much, like, so much more exciting. And for you, it's the same thing. Looking at your classmates, competing with, I mean, like, feeling like, dang, they got an edge on. Like, you're your own unique, like brand. Nobody can touch it. Think of yourself as Nike or whatever your favorite brand is. Like, you can't touch them. Like, Adidas can do all they want to do, but Nike is Nike. Like, so think of yourself the same way. You are the highest caliber. You are the highest version of yourself when you realize that you are uniquely you, when you realize that you can play that to your advantage. Otherwise, you're literally going to, like, sell out for just being average because you lied to yourself that you are when you're really not. So as a pre-PT, go get it. Go kill it. And if you need some help, if you need some guidance, I mean, feel free to hit us up. We're always here to serve you. But tonight, just understand, you are a non-traditional student. Like, you are a non-traditional student. If you're watching this live, comment that. It's like, I am a non-traditional student. You are a non-traditional student. And that's a dang good thing. Just keep believing in it. Paul said, don't discredit your pain. Yeah. Don't. And when your story is written, we can't wait. We can't wait to read it with the rest of the world. And by reading it, we can't wait for you to literally just explain to the world, explain to other pre-PTs how, despite your frustration, your pain, your anxiety, your stress level, your like struggles with the GRE, GPA, so on and so forth, that you are still able to accomplish your goal of becoming a doctor of physical therapy. Period. Melanie, Paul, Kara, Jennifer, you are non-traditional students. Let's freaking get it. Casey, any last words before we depart tonight?
That is it. That is it. That is
That's
it.
it. That's all I got.
We out.
Let's get it. Y'all have an amazing night. Many blessings. Let's go.